Loses control of their trolley, smashes into your car and then takes off without leaving a note. Not only is it infuriating, it's costing us all in rising insurance premiums. So what if you were a witness? Would you help or look the other way?
There's a very good chance this has happened to your car. And what's the bet? Nobody bothered to leave a note.
I came out to my car 3 or 4 years ago and had quite a big swipe on the side of the car.
A lot of people haven't got a conscience, I suppose.
Yeah, I've had, my wife's got 3 dings in her car at the moment. Same thing, no. You get pretty upset when it's a new car, so yeah, it happens all the time.
Happens a lot.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
Tell me about it.
These shopping trolleys are on the loose and they're out there and their biggest enemy is vehicles.
But that little scratch isn't minor, says Mike Sapinski from insurer Amy. The average repair bill, thanks to a knock from a trolley, is anywhere between $800 and $1,000. Added up over a year, and all that carelessness causes $1 million worth of damage.
It's a major national issue. Across all of Amy's motor claims, some 14% are attributed to damage to parked vehicles.
It's annoying, it's costly, and it's happening to 3/4 of us who own cars. But if you saw it happen to someone's vehicle, would you get involved? Our actor Jenny is 70 and she's struggling to push a fully laden trolley. It's a loud impact and attracts plenty of attention. Lots of looks, but at this point almost everyone keeps their distance. The only person who does get involved is this elderly lady, sympathetic to Jenny's runaway trolley trouble.
And stop them. They just go the way they want to go themselves.
The owner of the vehicle is our ACA researcher Lisa, and of course when she returns to the car, it's scratched and dented.
Ran the trolley into your car.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
These 2 men were quick to tell Lisa exactly what happened.
Yeah, we were waiting for someone to show up, basically.
No, I wanted her to know exactly what went on because I've been in that same position.
This group certainly seemed to notice our actor Jenny having trouble with her trolley, but when approached by car owner Lisa, were reluctant to get involved.
So you didn't see anything?
Mate, all the same.
I didn't see anything happen, but...
Just go and chat to the lady.
Okay. All right, thank you.
But there was no stopping this man. No sooner had Lisa come back to the car, he was out of his seat.
Thank you.
The old lady was walking along with the trolley. She never meant to, just walking along here, and the trolley wheel got caught in here, and it just shoved her sideways, and she and the trolley went against that, went against the car, yeah.
Although he was a little wary of dobbing in Jenny.
Is it this lady?
I'm not sure. I think so, yeah. She's still in today.
Oh, okay.
It would have been very easy for you guys just to sit at the table, though, and say and do nothing. Why did you feel compelled to get up out of your seat and go over to Lisa?
Oh, because it's happened in my car 3 or 4 times in the last 3 or 4 months. I've had it repaired each time and it cost a fortune. So, yeah, that was really the motivation behind it.
According to an Amy survey, in the past year, 38% of us have had our cars damaged while they've been parked.
When you came back and looked as though you were going to break into tears, I thought, I better tell her what's happened.
And did you dob on me straight away?
Didn't want to, did you notice that? I didn't want to.
No, he didn't want to tell me who it was.
I don't think it's her, I'm not sure, you know.
South Australians are the least likely to leave a note, whereas Queenslanders will, and the riskiest place to park is in the Northern Territory.
That there is a legal obligation if they do damage a vehicle to leave their contact details.
Does it make a difference if the trolley driver isn't a sweet old lady, but a man in his 30s?
That's going to be happy, mate.
Wait for someone, and give them your licence or something.
Yeah.
This man certainly wasn't going to let our runaway trolley actor Daniel get away with it.
What happened?
He just put his shopping trolley into it. This guy here.
Did you push the trolley into my car?
If it was my car, I'd expect the same thing, you know. Well, it was a fair bit of damage there, and I just thought I'd stop him and say, what are you doing, mate, you know?
Passers-by were far more willing to dob in the younger perpetrator Daniel than our sweet older Jenny, but there were still a few who were more concerned about him than the car.
Yeah, that's not my car.
Oh, mate. You right?
Yeah, I'm right.
Hi, mate.
How often have you come back to your cars though, and there's a scratch or a dent?
Many times, yes.
Especially at the shopping centre.
And did people ever leave a note for you guys?
No, never.
I couldn't just let this guy get away with doing the damage to their car, because if it happened to me, I would want the same courtesy happen back to me.
Well, now to the government whistleblower who says speed cameras do nothing to save lives. John Lambert knows what he's talking about. He was manager of road safety research at Vic Roads. He approached ACA after watching our series of speed camera investigations. He has evidence that we're all being taken for a ride.
50, and I'm travelling under 50 at the moment. I've just sped up.
John Lambert has spent 45 years researching car accidents. He headed Victoria's road safety body when speed cameras were introduced.
Them are very, very inexact.
So you know it's worth listening when he says something like this.
Speed cameras, I would argue, have virtually had no effect on the road toll.
Speed cameras cut the road toll.
Absolutely.
There's no research that I know of anywhere in the world that proves speed cameras achieve anything.
What you're about to see will change your mind about speeding.
There's no doubt speed cameras are an unrivalled cash cow. All the states are in on it, but Victoria is the unrivalled champion. This year they're projecting $500 million in fines.
Victoria stands out worldwide in that its drivers are the most heavily fined drivers in the world by a factor of about 10.
Victorians are fined 10 times more than England, long considered the world's speed camera capital.
Obviously, our road toll will be 10 times less than theirs.
No, it doesn't. There's no correlation.
This is Victoria's road toll for the past 60 years. Despite the explosion in speed cameras in the past 5 years, it's clear the road toll hasn't really changed. In fact, this year it's up 14%. Why? John Lambert says the fundamental presumption behind speed cameras is false. Being a few k's over or below the speed limit doesn't cause accidents. Being distracted does.
We've all seen those ads where they've got one car doing 60 which just hits the girl pedestrian.
And this time, he hits her at only 5 kilometres per hour. She'd just have a bruised leg.
And then you have the guy doing 65 who hits her.
On the impact here, we can work out she was hit at 32 kilometres per hour.
If I had another driver doing 55 who was distracted for 2 seconds, that's that long, at the time the girl stepped onto the thing, that driver who's doing 55 would hit that girl at 55, wouldn't have even applied the brakes and would probably kill her.
The graphs police show us usually look like this. The faster the car is travelling, the more likely it is to kill. But look what happens when you take distraction into consideration. A distracted driver travelling at 55 has a 60% chance of killing the pedestrian. A driver who's travelling at 80 but paying attention is 10 times less likely to kill her. And yes, looking constantly down at your speedo is a distraction.
They've only got to look down there for a second and they could kill someone.
John Lambert says the best evidence shows the safest speed to drive is with the flow of the traffic. There's nothing magic in the numbers 60 or 100. The human brain is very good at judging the safe speed for itself, and it's constantly changing with the environment.
Now I'm travelling under 50 at the moment. I've just sped up because there's got a reasonable straight section there and I'm slowing down for the corner.
It's the same way our brains steer us through crowds without crashing, even at a run. We only have accidents going much faster or slower than the crowd. So finding drivers 20 k's over the limit makes sense, but not small-time speeders, just 5 or 10 over.
How do speed cameras save lives?
Speed cameras save lives because it alters driver behaviour.
Superintendent Dean McWhirter heads the Victoria Police speed camera operations.
How can we take 10 times as much in fines and have no significant reduction in the road toll if it works?
Absolutely. The research is that speed is a contributing factor for 30% of fatalities.
Speed or speeding?
Speed.
So not speeding?
Well, speeding.
They're very different.
Do you think?
If my car's going 30 kilometres an hour in a 40k zone and I have a crash and I could have avoided it by going 20, that's speed was a factor, but speeding wasn't.
Well, that's your interpretation.
Police have pointed us to a report by the Cochrane Collaboration. It examined the results of various studies on speed cameras.
The average speed of driving reduced somewhere in the vicinity between 10 to 35%. And more importantly, what it did show is that fatalities and serious injuries reduced in the vicinity between 11 to 40%.
But that study was headed by a woman called Cecilia Wilson, who lists her research expertise as ageing, community health and osteoarthritis. And it doesn't explain why more speed cameras hasn't meant a lower road toll.
The fact of the matter is that speed cameras don't save lives, and there's absolutely no credible evidence out there that suggests that speed cameras do save lives.
Paul Marich is a motoring writer we met when he outed speed cameras catching motorists on downhill slopes.
It's obvious to anyone that bothers looking into this that car safety has improved absolutely dramatically since the 90s, and that can be accounted for when you look at the road toll.
The two biggest drops in the road toll came after the introduction of seatbelts in the 70s and airbags and crumple zones in the 90s. We know technology saves lives, but speed cameras?
Fabulous for state revenue, does nothing for road safety.